Hi, I'm Jeff with Mill Renew out of Tacoma, Washington, and today I'm at Specialty Forest Products at their Tacoma, Washington branch. I just installed a 60 horsepower gang rip saw. It's a Cantek Mrs 12, and what I want to do is just go over some of the features on it. So anyway, stick with me and we'll go over this thing. A little background on myself. I've been doing repairs and that sort of thing on, well, when I started out at 10 years old on Briggs and Stratton motors, rebuilding them, mini bikes, go karts, motorcycles, all that sort of thing. And my whole adult life is doing installs on this kind of equipment and rebuilding or repairing, electrical, mechanical, it doesn't matter, as long as I get the thing up and running for the customers. So several months ago, I came into Specialty Forest Products, and they showed me a quote on a new gang rip that they wanted to buy, and they said, "Oh, this is the best one." So being that I've been doing this kind of work my whole life, I've worked on those ones that they call are the best ones, and I could never figure out what made it the best, other than I guess the bottom line price, because it costs so much money. Maybe that's what makes it the best. So based on the quote they showed me, I thought, well, I'll put together a quote on a Cantek machine for them. And what I'll do is I'll load it with lasers, short stock attachments, rubberized chain, extra cartridges, extra spacers, all that stuff. So anyway, I presented the quote to them, and it costs just a little bit more than half price of the best one that didn't come with any extra features. So anyway, that's what I'm showing you today. So this is one of the features that I added to the machine, and it's this rubberized chain. You can see this little pad here is probably maybe a quarter-inch thick, and it's rubber. And the reason I put that on is because on the standard gang rip saw, the teeth on each one of these pads are so coarse, they will dimple the wood. And that's fine if you're running a molder, but Specialty Forest does custom ripping for people, and maybe what they're doing is making face frame stock, and that can't have dimples, and that's why I added the rubber chain to this saw. I also added a short stock attachment. You can see this wooden block right here. That's like a chip breaker for your material as it goes through. But if you're running short stock, let's say 20-inch pieces, there's a board that spans from this side to this side, and what that does, it holds the material down against the chain for feeding. That's important because this is called a dip chain gang rip saw. You probably can't see it, but this part of the chain is lower than this part and this part. It goes down through a dip, so you have clearance for the saw blade. I also loaded this guy up with lasers. I added 5 lasers to the machine, and that way you can use that as the fence for your boards. If you have all your blades set at different widths, you just use the corresponding laser to get the maximum yield out of your material. This right here is one of the extra cartridges. You saw the one on the saw with all the saw blades mounted to it. But anyway, this is what it looks like. And what you do is you set this cartridge on top of this stud right here, and then you can load all your blades up and measure the distance on all your blades as far as how wide you're going to space them, 2-inch, 3-inch, so on and so forth. But anyway, that's what an extra cartridge looks like. Here we have the short stock attachment that mounts between both of the feed roll sections. Anyway, that's what that guy looks like. Comes in very handy for doing short pieces. Here we have the safety switch for the hood. On the hood there's like a key right here, and as you close the hood it swings down into the safety lock. what you can do, you can engage or disengage this safety lock using this key that I have zip tied to the wire so they can't lose it. There's like a star fitting right here on the end of the key that slides into the switch, so like I say, you can engage or disengage the safety circuit. When the safety circuit is engaged, this light will light up. It's set on a timer, so when you shut off the main blade coasts down to a stop. Then this light illuminates. So after, I'm going to just say 30 seconds or so, then you can push this button and it will disengage the safety circuit. This is what the lasers look like on just a floor view. This is what the lasers look like on a board view. You just line your board up with the laser as best you can and run it through the machine, and where each laser line is where the blades are. A couple other little things I'd like to point out is right here on this tag, it's the model number, serial number, all that sort of thing. And this blue tag right here on the bottom is a CSA sticker, meaning that the machine is compliant for any state in the United States to run this thing. Without that blue sticker, it would probably shut a guy's shop down. The other thing is, here's the mounting box for all the lasers. You can see them all screwed onto this. And it's got its own electrical connector here, so you don't have to run an extra power cord. It's wired through the control circuit. And like I tell all of my customers, if you're 1,000 miles away from me and there's a problem with the machine, on this particular machine we have a nice little cabinet here to hold the wiring diagram and all the other literature for the machine. And then all you would have to do for me to repair the thing is take a picture of the electrical components inside the cabinet. And just a note, I have a gigantic screen on my as a monitor for my computer, to where you take a picture. I could typically read all these numbers, and if you email me the wiring diagram and send me a picture of the components in there, and if you have a multimeter, I can even tell you how to use the multimeter, and we can typically figure out what the problem is in fairly short order. So again, just send me a picture of the wiring diagram, the wiring diagram here, and a picture of the components inside, and we could probably resolve your problem. And here we have our main control panel. We have an emergency stop button, which is a mushroom switch. You push it, and then you have to twist it to reset. This switch down here does the same thing. It stops the feed, so you don't wear the switch out. It's just a momentary. You don't have to twist it like you do this guy. Here we have the start button for the saw blade. As you can see, there's a picture of the saw blade. Here's the stop for the saw blade. Here's our feed speed. It's variable feed speed. All you have to do is twist the potentiometer to speed it up or slow it down. Here's for rise and fall of the feed rollers. Here we have, when you're out of oil, this light will come on saying, hey, I'm out of oil. This guy right here is if you trip a breaker, that light will come on letting you know that you tripped a breaker. What I'll do is I'll turn it on just so we can see what it sounds like. As you can see, it's relatively quiet. Now this is showing the feed is ready to go. Now the feed is going. This is what Specialty Forest Products machinery line looks like. Left side is a 36-inch two-head sander. The one next to that is a 25-inch top and bottom planer. Next to that is a straight line rip saw. And then, of course, their newest machine is their 60-horsepower gang rip saw. And here's another good shot of their laser lines.